So I couldn't believe it. I was really surprised that this was all happening. But again, things like this have happened in trucking. So then he says, okay, I have the tow company here. I'll just put them on the line and they can talk to you about the tow. And they said, oh, we're just going to tow it we can tow it, wherever you kind of want. And, they suggested like there's another truck stop that you could just tow it over there. Because the only reason why it's being towed is because the manager wants both of the guys out of there. So I talked to the guy that's from the tow company, and he's just, just like any tow company, they are just going through the details with me, ask where I want it towed. And they're telling me that the cost is like, I think $750, and that they only take EFS. So I, go through the motions and I make the EFS code to the towing company. So they send me an invoice for the tow and I pay them the EFS and that's it. They say, have a good day. That's it. So I text my dispatcher and I tell him, oh my gosh, you would not believe what just happened. And I tell him because he's also friends with the driver. And then a short while later, he tells me that he talked to the driver and nothing like this happened, that nothing happened at all. And I realize obviously then that I've been scammed, and I look up the invoice, company name, nothing exists. The address that they have on there is a totally different business. So I realized that I was scammed, and there wasn't really much I could do because I made an EFS code, which is already like guaranteed funds. I definitely learned my lesson that I didn't call the driver because I assumed that he's being arrested. I didn't think to verify it because, again, I've had so many situations in trucking that were really similar to this. So it's not that crazy. They knew so many details about the driver. All this stuff made sense, but turned out not to be true. And I would say, I'm sure they've done this to a bunch of other people, but I have learned my lesson too. Double check on everything.